Hi everyone, welcome back. So this is going to be the second video of the PowerShell task scheduling and automation series. And in this video, we are going to jump into creating and scheduling a task via PowerShell. Just like in the previous video, we saw how the PowerShell the Windows task scheduler works and how we can create a task using the provided GUI. And in this video we are going to create a task just like we created in the previous video, but instead of like using the GUI, we will use a PowerShell script that will create that task for us. So just like in the whenever we like create a task using the GUI, we provide the information like the name and descriptions. We can provide the privileges and the user who is going to create. We have provide the triggers, actions, and we provide the principles or conditions um, for that specific task that we are going to schedule. So just like the GUI, these are the things we will do in the PowerShell script as well. So I'm going to open up the code editor, or we can use the PowerShell IC as well. So we can open this as well. Let's open that with administrator because we are scheduling and creating tasks. So maybe we might get some errors while creating with normal users. So that's why we are going to open the administrative privileges here. Is there a way we can like increase the zoom in? Yeah. So I'm gonna do Control plus. So let's save this file. Not open. I'm gonna save this. So let's call it past task.ps1. And what we are going to schedule, let's think about it. So just for the testing and demonstration, we are going to use the service. So we have different services, right, running in the background and as well as the on the surface. So we have service, we can get the all the services running using the git service command. It's going to list all of the running services. But let's say I'm going to get the web client service. This is also the service running in the like in the running query. So it's currently start, the status is stop. So we can start that using the start service command. And the like the benefit of using the PowerShell IC is like you got the code completion right here. You can see we got the descriptions as well, and the same thing applies here. So let's say I'm going to write start service, and as you can see it auto completes that. Let's say web client, and if I press Control space, it's going to auto complete that, and I can like select and directly execute that line of code. So now if I like get the service again, I can get that here, as well as I can duplicate that line by Control C and Control V in the next line. So I'm gonna say, let's comment this. The comments are starts with hash in PowerShell. So now if I run this, as you can see the stat is now running, and that is something I want to do with a PowerShell script. That way we are going to schedule just like we did in the previous video. So now the service that we are going to target as web client, we can like just pick a specific name and like put it manually in the script, as well as you can create a variable. So I'm going to go with the creating a variable. So let's say capitalize system service name equals to, let's say, web client. You can use capitalize here, like the W with capital and C also capital, and the small case also works. Depends on you how you want to like parse it. Now just like I mentioned, let me clear the screen, CLS. Just like we mentioned that we will need the triggers, actions, and new task and those things. So for that we have different different commands for that in PowerShell. So let's say I'm going to specify the action, and we have new, let's say new schedule. And as I mentioned before, we have the benefit of using the PowerShell IC as well as extension install and your VS Code, as that it's going to auto complete the things for you, so that you don't need to remember everything. Also the parameters as well. So here you can see we have the task schedule, task action, right, and that is the action defined here in the GUI. So we have the actions tab where we can specify the actions that will be performed whenever that specific task is like executed at that specific time. that you have specified. So I'm going to press control space, and here we have the schedule task action. And now when it comes to a parameter, I can press dash, and then here we have the parameters that we can pass. So now I'm going to pass the execute command, and this comes from like if I click on new, here as you can see we have the program to execute, right? And the program that we have to start, and then we have the arguments for that. So that is what we are going to do here. So the program is definitely PowerShell.exe, and then we have to pass the arguments are right here, you can see, and like the add arguments, this is optional as well, but we are going to do something with this PowerShell, right? So that's why we have to pass the argument. And as you guys you might have seen in the previous video that here we passed the dash command flag, and then we did something with that, right? So that is what we are going to do here. And the command that I want to try with that is like that will be like, let me try that right here. The command that going to be executed whenever this is triggered is like PowerShell.exe command, and here we will the pass command, let's say start service, and we have the web client, also we have the variable, so the service name. Now if I select this, and we have the run command, you can see run selection, F8 this as the shortcut key, so that's gonna be executed right here. You can see it's the running script and then selected. So let's see, once that is completed, we will see the results. Oh, it's taking forever, so I'm gonna stop that. I think the issue with that might be like we did not specify the service name variable, so I'm gonna select that and click on run, and it is executing that file, so which means this works, there is no error in that. So that is the parameter that we are passing here in the argument. And also I'm going to remove the comment. So now this is the like the command that we specified here, dash command start service. Again, you can use the capitalized system like S and S with capital, and small case also works, but you can do whatever you like doing. So now we have specified the task action. Now we have to set the triggers and events. So let's say task trigger equals to, let's say, new schedule task trigger, and we have different parameters here, as you can see, daily, and we saw like how we can execute a task based on like a specific let me go to that. Here we provided like a time in the previous video, and then the task was executed in that specific time, right? One time, and that is what we are going to do in the PowerShell script. So we are going to like execute a script on a specific time, so we have the once flag, like execute this at that specific time only. And then here we have the at, and here is like we are going to provide the time frame where this is going to be executed. So now the time is going to be like, as we saw here in the previous video, like we specified a specific time, like I can change this to the time, and it's going to be triggered on that time. So that is what we are going to do here. And for this thing, I'm going to use the get date command, get date, and it's going to like, this is going to be the current date, right? So if I execute get date in the terminal, you can see this is the current date, but I want to execute, we are like executing the tasks in the future, right? So for that, I'm going to add some like seconds. We can add seconds, we can add minutes. Let's add 1 minute. Like whenever we execute the script, the task is going to be triggered after 1 minute of that. So now we have the trigger. Now we have to specify the principles. So let's say principle, and then new schedule task principles. Now here we will get different parameters, like you can see the run level, and these are right here in the general section. we can see the user or the group. You can see right here we have the privileges where they are high privileged or like low privilege, and these things. So here we will specify the user. So let's say we can also pass a group ID just like we saw in the GUI. You can see it here at autocomplete, so whether you want to execute the group ID or we have the user ID as well. So let's say we are going to use the user ID, and for that we are going to like pass the user path, right? So we have the host name which returns the system name, and what I mean by that is like if we go to the task creation GUI, let's see, here you see the path, right? The system name and then the username. So that is what we are going to provide here. So the host name is going to provide us that name, and for the username we are going to call the environment variable username. You can see it provides the username. So let's say I'm going to specify that here, other user equals to execute the host name and backslash and then the env colon username. And to test that like if that's gonna work or not, we can try that in the terminal. So I'm gonna paste that to copy and paste that here. Oh, I'm not able. And let's see the user, and you can see it has that like that user. So I'm going to provide that right here, and then we have the privilege. So we have run level, and we can pass the highest as well as limited. So here in the GUI you can see run with highest privileges, and I think in the previous video, whenever we were creating task and scheduling it with the GUI, we specified the run with highest privileges. So let's do it here as well. Now we have the principles and actions and triggers. Now we need to create the task as well as register it. So now let's say task equals to new, let's call the schedule task. You can see here, and here we are going to provide the actions and principles. You can see here trigger. So the action that is the variable that we defined here. So there is the action. Then we have the trigger dash trigger, and we have the task trigger variable, and then we have the dash principal parameter, and we are going to specify the dollar principal parameter. Now we have created a task, but now we have to register it. So for that we have to use the register schedule. We have a job as well as a task, but we are going to use a task. Then that is what like the task scheduler is all about. So new task, register schedule task, and here let's see what parameters do we have. I'm going to press I'm going to type dash and then control space, and it's going to provide me the parameters that I have to pass. So here we have the task name, and the task name is the name that will be displayed, right, like the name that we provide here, and that is the name that we have specified here. So I think we can create a variable for that as well. Let's say task name, let's say our second task, and I'm going to provide that name right here, dollar task name, and then we will have descriptions as well. You can see here, let's like hard code that here, some info about this task, and then we have to do anything else. We have the principles, we have the action settings, and I think we specified the I think task path settings. The parameters that we provided above are also here. So what we are going to do is we are going to like provide the task itself. So if I say task path and then pass the task that we just created, task variable. Now I think we have another parameter. Like if I press control space, here you can see the parameters that are available here. We also specified that in the new task, right? The new scheduled task. So what we are going to do is it has the input object. So we are going to pass that object. So input object, and the object is the task object. So now that is going to register the task, and if there is no error, we can write host the task name is registered, and this is also going to like list that right here. So that is all about registering a task, and whenever the task is registered, it should start the service, but we have to stop it in order for that to work, right? So let's say it's currently running, so I'm going to stop that. Stop service web client, and I can get the service. It's stopped, and let's schedule the task. So I'm gonna run the script, and we have an issue description input object. I don't think there is any issue with it. Let's pass the force flag, and let's see if that's going to throw in error again. Register schedule task, task name provided, and descriptions, and then the input object, and then force. There should be no error with that, but still providing. Let's see. I'm gonna remove the descriptions. Oh, was it error with the descriptions? I don't think so. You can see we provide a string as a descriptions, but anyway. So yeah, as you can see here, we register task, and this is the path, and it's registered. So if I go back to the task scheduler, and I'm going to refresh here, our second task, you can see here, this is the next execution time, and we will have to like check that. You can see it's going to be executed for 58 on 4 seconds, and there are some time to go. And currently, as we saw here, the service is currently stopped. If I check it, and whenever that is triggered, it's going to be, if there is no error, it's going to be started. So let's see. I'm going to refresh. It's going to execute it. So the task is not executed, and I can confirm that from here. As you can see, the service is still stopped. And if we go to the settings, conditions, you see here the power status condition is still off, due to which it's going to throw error. And currently I am not connected again, so let's uncheck that. So let's see how we can like disable this from the script itself. So let's close this, and you can see whenever it is executed, like it was like once. So now whenever that is executed once, it's going to be disabled, and you can see it is disabled here. So let's add the settings to like execute whenever, whether like you are connected to a AC power supply or you are on battery. So let's create a variable. Let's say settings, and we are going to create the new scheduled task setting set, and we have disallow, demand start, disallow, hard terminate, and compatibility, delete expired tasks, and let's see, maintenance exclude hidden. We have a lot of options here. You can see here allow start if on batteries. So now we have the settings, we can pass that to the task, and we have the settings here. I'm going to pass that setting, and you can see here we have a lot of settings that we can provide. So based on your requirements, you can specify any setting you want. Also, you can see here we can specify the hidden. Hidden is also available in the registered scheduled task itself. So yeah, let's try again. Get service. It's currently stopped, and if I go back, it is disabled. Now let's do another test. How we can remove a task using a scheduler, like a PowerShell. Here you can see we register a task, but we have unregister as well. We have disable schedule task as those commands. So unregister dash schedule task, and we have to pass the task name, and the task name is right here. So in order to run that, I'm gonna copy and paste that to the terminal, and the task name, copy and paste that to the terminal as well, and it's going to remove that task from the. Now you can see here it's going to like pop off. So we have the confirm to false. I think it's $false in PowerShell. So it's not gonna like confirm that from us, just like you saw in the pop-up. So now it's done, and if I come here and refresh, you can see the our second scheduled task is now gone. So I'm gonna comment this one, and it's on register. Oh, what happened? So I'm gonna remove completely this, and let's see if we are going to be successful this time. So I'm gonna run the script as registered, but let's see and find it here. I can't see it here. Oh, where is the register task schedule? Yeah, so I deleted the wrong line. So yeah, I'm gonna execute, and it's registered, and if I come here and refresh here, you can see right here, and this is the next execution time, and I'm gonna quickly check whether the get service has that. It's currently stopped, right? So after the specific time, currently it's 5:16 27:28, and it's scheduled on this 5:17. So let's see, we have a couple of seconds, so let's talk about the disable schedule task. Just like we saw the on register schedule task, we have the disable schedule task, and we can pass the task name. Now just like you saw, whenever the task was successfully executed, we saw that it was the status was disabled, right? So you can disable the task manually by using this command, the disable schedule task. So now as you saw, whenever I was talking, we saw the window pop up and the script was executed, and if I get service now, you can see the web client is now running. So yeah, that is how we can schedule our task on a specific time and once. Now that is now disabled again. If I come here, you can our second, you can see here still ready. Okay, our second task, it's still ready, but it's executed, so there's no chance it's going to be executed again because the time and the date that we provided is gone. So we can remove that. We have the unregister command just we executed previously. Where is it? Here. Oh, confirm again, and that is it. So now in the upcoming videos, this is like the whole theory in the whole thing, how you can schedule a task. These are the commands. Now the thing is, you might not find like content about like scheduling a task based on like a specific conditions and specific scenarios. So that is something we are going to discuss here, because I did a lot of research about this whenever I was working on this. I was given a task and I had time, so I did it, and I'm gonna create like I'm creating these videos so that like if someone in the future is doing research on this, um, I'm gonna provide a content. I did research. I spent a lot of time on this, so that I might save someone time in the future, which may help someone. So yeah, thank you for watching and stay tuned for the next video.